Welcome to Geek Speak Live.
It's Friday, Geek Speakers. Hello, I'm your host Todd Bailey. Joining me on the show tonight, it is, what did I just say, the best looking rooster in the hen house. Ladies.
What?
It's Mr. Wade Copson.
Wake up on pots and pans!
Looking mighty fine there, sir. Looking a bit dapper around the edges.
I had an unfortunate incident. I fell underneath a lawnmower and just took everything off.
Oh, I thought you had your ears lowered. To say it suits you, big fella.
No.
Ladies, this man is single, by the way. Let's put it out there. For the love of God, someone take him off our hands, because, he drives me crazy. How are you?
I'm alright. How's your week been?
Long. Once again, it's more drama throughout the week in the comic book industry.
Oh, DC seems to just be lobbing grenades all week this
They
week.
do. There's been a couple of artists and creators who have been named as what would you call it? Like indecent contact. You know what I mean? So they've been apparently some women have been naming certain comic creators this week who have done inappropriate things. That's what I was looking for before. So two of the big names: Cameron Stewart, the guy who did Motor Crush over at Image Comics.
Okay.
He also worked with Grant Morrison on the Grant Morrison's Batman and Robin run a few years back. And he helped design, the new look of Batgirl, where she's got the Doc Martens.
Yeah.
He was one of the key designers on Batgirl of Burnside. So he's been, he's been a naughty boy and he's in big trouble. DC's actually cancelled one of his upcoming projects. Out he goes.
Oh,
and
goodness me.
Warren Ellis, mate.
What?
Transmetropolitan.
Hang on, what?
Warren Ellis. This guy's like 50 or something. He's in trouble. Apparently he likes the younger ladies and, sent inappropriate messages and stuff like that. So it's been a turbulent week in comics with that kind of business going on.
Big smacks.
Naughty.
A big hello to Danny. Steve Solomon's watching home. Hey, man, how are you?
Hello, Solly. How are you, big fella?
Paul's
also,
watching.
Scott. Hello, Scott.
Laura's watching. G'day, everyone.
Hello,
Thanks for
Laura.
tuning in.
And did you say my beautiful wife is watching? Hello, wifey. See, doesn't he scrub up well today? She didn't tell you that last night. She was trying to blow up your balloon, as they say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
There's no connotations in that. I just meant like pump you up, yeah.
I just noticed that
I'm gonna have a drink now.
At that moment, Harry Potter was doing a little bit of flying. Have a look! Look at him! He's flying.
Jesus,
He's reaching for the Quidditch.
That's
That's what it's called, right? A Quidditch.
No, the game's called Quidditch.
Well, what's the golden
Snitch. Golden snitch. Fucking hey, he's going for the Quidditch. That's the game they play.
Well, they stole it all from Lord of the Rings anyway.
It did not.
We stole it from that other comic that we
did.
mentioned a couple of weeks ago.
Books of Magic. I was only talking to a customer about that today. Anyway, other stuff that happened in comics this week. You're going to talk about it in your stuff, but we might as well lead in with it. Free Comic Book Day.
Yes.
So comic shops around the world had to cancel Free Comic Book Day because of COVID-19.
Yep.
And I know traditionally for us, as the same with a lot of other stores, Free Comic Book Day is the single biggest sales day we have of the year, right? We haven't had that this year, so that's a lot of stores are very much missing that. So Diamond, in their infinite wisdom, have gone, we're going to have Free Comic Book. They announced it today.
Yep.
They actually announced it publicly before they told retailers.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's just what you like to do when you
Thanks,
suddenly
DC.
got. No, that was Diamond.
Oh,
Diamond. So yeah, that one today wasn't DC's fault.
Oh.
It was Diamond's fault.
I've got way more things in here about DC lobbing grenades.
Have you?
Yes.
So they put it out there to the public first before retailers were told about it, and then retailers were getting phone calls going, "Oh, so you're doing free comic book summer," is what they're calling it.
Yes, because it's 9 weeks.
He's got the details here. Look at him.
Going from July 15 all the way till September 9.
That's right. So they're going to release so many books a week or every second week or whatever else.
Yep.
And the idea is shops are just meant to run their own little events and give the books away. And retailers are flat out gone, it won't work. Because the idea of Free Comic Book Day is to get everyone in the shop to do a big sales push. You give away free comics for books coming up. People come in for one big event. They're not going to come in for micro events and that kind of thing.
You just got to spread the audience across all those 9 weeks rather than just everyone
And
on
not
one
only
weekend.
that, the shipping to get those books to comic shops. Now, it's considerable in the US, right? Because this is something that most people don't realise about Free Comic Book Day, right?
Yes.
The comics are not free to the comic shops. They still have to buy those comics, yes, at a discounted rate to give away, right? so many people just think that the publishers, like DC and Marvel, in their benevolence, just give retailers those books to give away.
Which they should.
They should.
Because they want people to be attracted to their product.
It's a form of advertising, isn't it?
I mean, it's just like the drug dealer. It should be,
First hits
the
for
first
free.
hits for free.
Not that we know about
Keep coming
this.
back and
We don't know about this.
allegedly.
We're good little choir boys.
Absolutely.
See the halo around his head just then?
I'm a boy soprano.
You're something. Anyway, they're not free to comic shops. So a lot of shops are going, look, we're probably not going to go ahead with this whole thing this year. We'll probably drop it. The real sucky part is here in Australia, it would cost us a fortune at the moment to get them shipped across because there's so little air freight, flights coming in. All the prices have gone skyrocketing. So most comic shops in Australia, apparently they are going to let us cancel our orders. We had to put our orders in at the start of the year for Free Comic Book Day. I think it's usually end of January or something like that we put our orders in.
Yep.
So hopefully, apparently they're going to let us cancel our orders or round them up, round them down. Yep. Word is a lot of Australian comic shops have just gone, nah, not going to happen this year. So, yeah, you won't probably see Free Comic Book Day for 2020. How sad is that?
And then now they're saying that DC Comics haven't even committed to being a part of it at all.
No, that's right.
So, what are you doing, DC?
God damn it, DC. That's going to be our catchphrase
God damn it, DC.
each week. What else you got for me there?
Hey,
Hey, I thought you were doing a Lion King thing. You know? Do I need to hold you? Oh, yeah.
hey, we just had tea. Everyone watching at home is probably having tea at the moment.
Yes?
We wish we were
We'll
having...
keep our shirts on.
We wish we were having cow tippers. Because Kevin Smith's fictitious restaurant Movies
Yeah.
has opened up in West Hollywood.
Now, what's the chicken burger called, Ginge?
Well, you could have a cow tipper,
Say it, Ginge.
or you could have a chicken burger, which is called the Cocksmoker Chicken Burger.
We just said, you know, in no other time of your life could you ever go up and say,
I want a cocksmoker.
apart from you going to movies,
Maybe two.
I'll have a cow tipper and a cocksmoker. But you know what? It's a pity that that kind of pop-up doesn't come to Australia. You and I have always been big Kevin Smith fans.
Yep.
He's part of the reason I got into comic retailing. I loved the movies, especially Mallrats, you know, when Brody goes to the comic shop and Stan Lee's talking to him and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
That's what inspired me to get into comic retailing. So Kevin Smith's always been a big part of my geeky life, I guess you'd say. And you and I have always been a fan. We always said we'd love to get the Movies work shirts.
Yes, the actual collared design.
Yeah.
A few years ago, we could have bought the T-shirt, or like, you know, the kind of... It's just printed to look like a collar.
It looks shit.
Yeah.
So, but they're actually. You said they're selling merch. as part
Yeah,
of this pop-up?
you could buy it in store, but obviously we're not going to make it all the way to West Hollywood. But you can go to moviespopup.com, and there's a big area for merch where you can check out stuff. They've got a drive-through, which would be good at this time.
Yeah.
But the one thing that all of us would love to buy from there are their chocolate-covered pretzels.
Oh yeah, how cool would that be?
Man.
I was gonna say, you know, if you get a lemonade, there is going to have flies and taste like piss. Or, no?
And it's actually in the same area where the Saved by the Bell pop-up restaurant was
Oh, really?
a couple of years ago.
You reckon you could actually take us there?
I know exactly where it is because I walked right past there.
If we were in LA, he'd be handy for something like that, but we're not in LA.
So
he's not handy.
g'day to everyone watching at home. Neil, thanks for tuning in, man.
Danny said DC adding the misery.
Yes.
Yeah, sadly it is. Scott said, I'm still waiting for a Wahlburgers to open over here. I walked past one in London, Scott. I took a photo of the cardboard cutout of the three Wahlberg brothers together. And we ended up going somewhere else. I ended up having a... If you're ever in London, head to Seven Dials and go into it. There's a food market there, right? It's this big two-story kind of food market. And each little booth is a different food thing. There was a mob there called Truffle Burger, one of the best burgers I've ever had in my life in London, in Seven Dials. So
cool.
That's why I didn't try a Wahlburger, because I was tempted by Truffle Burger instead. I heard such good things. So, yeah.
Big g'day to Angela watching at home. Thanks for tuning
Ange.
in.
How are you? Ginge, what else you got there for us? News-wise?
DC and Spotify
Yes.
are going to combine to release some podcasts.
Now, when you say podcasts, from what I read of this, it's more like a radio drama.
Exactly right. Remember let's go back about 20-something years.
Yeah.
Did you ever have the read-along cassette tapes?
That's longer than 20 years, dude.
I just didn't want to completely alienate.
About 30 years.
So there was these things called cassettes, right? That used to hold music.
Yep.
Or even further back, records. I had a couple records with read-along.
Yes, you put
Disney.
the record on and you sit there and read the book and, yeah.
The biggest one that I remember, I had the A-Team on tape.
Oh, get out of here. Did B.A.
But, yes, I had the A-Team on tape.
Did
and it was,
Mr. T actually do B.A. Baracus? Like, he read along as B.A. Baracus?
I don't think so. That's
bit of fool.
But every time you had to flip the page, it was a sound of like a bomb arming going beep beep, and you knew to flip the page and read.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this reminds me of.
But they're not actually set to comics, these are they?
No, they're going to be completely standalone episodes. And
So essentially, it's a radio drama,
exactly right,
isn't it?
And
But then why are they calling it a podcast?
I guess podcast is the catchy term that they want to tie into.
Okay.
You don't have to explain.
Because, we talk about audio books. My wife is a big fan of audio books, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She's got quite a few favourite authors and narrators. She actually follows narrators now. One of them, and I know she's going to put a smile on her face when I say this, R.C. Bray. He narrates a whole bunch of different books, and my wife is a... honey, you'll have to put it in the there's a term for his fans, and my wife is definitely one of them. She's interacted on Facebook with him in messages and
awesome.
stuff like that, and he has got a really cool voice.
Yeah.
And I've listened to a few of his books, mainly because I sit passenger in the car when we're going to Brisbane, and the wife puts it on, and I just listen to it. And he's a fantastic narrator. I'm going to see if she's going to put it in there in the comments, what they call themselves.
Yeah.
But anyway, where was I going with that? So they're called audio books, right? Warhammer 40k, so Games Workshop, bring out. They call theirs audio dramas. And I had a customer in this week who was saying when he's painting his 40k minis up, he pops on the 40k audio dramas.
Yep.
Because it's not one narrator, it's like 6 people doing different voices. They add
Cool.
in sound effects. So like when the soldiers are marching forward, there's the crunching of boots on gravel and the bolt rifles kind of thing going off. And he said he gets into this zone while he's painting the 40k. He's listening to these tales about soldiers and everything else that he's painting up. So that's pretty cool. So that's what I would call this. I wouldn't call it a podcast. To me, a podcast is what we do. It's two guys talking or a group of people talking and doing informational stuff.
Yes.
To me, that's a podcast.
It's definitely a radio drama type inspiration.
There you go, Brainiacs, because they're RC Bray fans. It's Brainiacs. That's what they're called. Actually, she says, I love RC Bray. Yes, I know you do.
Paul has said, Scott has said, I had those, referencing the read-along cassettes and records.
I think most people our age would have grown up with something like that.
Paul said, so did I.
Chris, I had the Star Wars one on record, and turning the page when R2-D2 beeped to a very, very young me. It was awesome. Yeah,
That's
how
cool.
cool is that? What would you do with Batman? Would it have been the old 60s kind of thing for a Batman read along?
I do remember having a Super Friends one. And in researching...
Wonder Twins Unite. Is that like the...
what is it? Where they...
Wonder Twins, form of water.
In researching this story today, I went back and looked on YouTube to see if there was any of the A-Team read-along cassettes that people have uploaded them.
Was it?
And they have.
Oh.
And as soon as it pressed play, the theme song of the production company that made these things, it was like a swirling sort. And dude,
you had a flashback?
Honestly, I had a flashback to like an 11-year-old Wade flipping along the pages, reading along with. Oh man!
You know what happened in the kitchen this morning at home?
Oh.
Speaking of something from like the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So we're in the kitchen this morning getting ready to head to work, and we're doing breakfast, the wife and I, and I just started humming a tune, right?
Okay.
And the tune kind of go, and I'm not going to say it, you'll know it probably, but it was like dun 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 dun, and my wife was going, what is that? I'm like, what do you think it is? And she's like, is it a cartoon series? It's an old cartoon series. Mm-mm. It's an old TV series. Mm-hmm. She goes, what is it? And I went, Murder, She Wrote. Remember Angela Lansbury in Murder, She Wrote?
Yes.
And to which my wife's going, why the fuck are you thinking of Murder, She Wrote?
Yeah, why the fuck are you thinking of that?
That tune pops in my head quite...
You know why it didn't sound familiar? Because I didn't hear the typing.
Well, next
start
time
of it.
I'll get the typewriter in
If
there.
you're going to do it right!
Fuck it. Okay, Ginge. But anyway, I grew up watching, because my parents used to watch Murder, She Wrote. I
Yep.
loved it as a kid. I thought it was a fan. Angela Lansbury used to solve some awesome fucking crimes. I think I actually had a little thing for Angela Lansbury back in the day. No?
The one television show I always remember is Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, was it Robert Stack?
Yes,
Used to-
and his
used to
voice used to
narrate.
freak the fuck out of me
What was
when
the
I was a
Aussie
kid.
guy who used to do the weird kind of UFO?
Warwick Moss.
Warwick
the
Moss.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
The Extraordinary.
Whatever happened to Warwick Moss?
I don't know. I'll have to look him up.
Maybe he got abducted by aliens because he used to talk about that shit on the show all the time.
The theme song for that Unsolved Mysteries always used to freak the heck out of me because
Yeah.
I'm sure it would have been like 8 or 9, and it was on at like 9:30 at night.
Yeah,
and
I
you
used-
knew. No, I'm going to bed.
I used to stay up
This
and
is
watch
scary.
it with my parents. That was fantastic. G'day, Jake, who's watching, and Kent, who is also watching, and Paul said here, Teddy Ruxpin. Yes, I remember Teddy Ruxpin.
If you had a Teddy Ruxpin, you were rich.
Yep.
Honestly.
I had one of those. He used to talk and his eyes would move and all that kind of stuff. Teddy Ruxpin.
Scott said, I love radio dramas, but DC has a lot of customer repairing to do before I even touch anything new of theirs.
Fix the comics, fix the distribution, and fix your movies, then we'll talk.
Wow.
I'm with you, Scott. I'm not going to rush out. We've got Spotify. The wife has
Yeah.
a Spotify account. So, yeah, I'm kind of keen to see what the production quality is like on these, but I'm not going to rush out and support DC because they've been real pricks over the last month and a half. There you go. What else you got for me?
Your mate from DC.
My mate. Here we go.
Now,
And say DC.
now, should I pronounce it the English way or the Spanish way?
Go.
Jorge Jimenez
Yeah,
or
George
George Jimenez.
Jimenez.
DC.
It's
have done-
Jorge.
That's what I said.
You said you're to get.
That's a vicious, cruel lie, and I'll thank you for not sharing it.
It's hot hair.
Jorge Jimenez,
Yep.
DC have done a documentary with him, chronicling his childhood all the way up to becoming
really?
a DC comic
He
artist.
is actually one of my favourite DC artists at
Yeah.
the moment. I really like his artwork. It's really, really good.
The documentary is just about an hour long,
Yep.
and it's called Visionaries, and it will be out June-ish.
Yeah. We're in June now, dude.
But
Like, we're nearly at the end of June.
they're saying June 20, which is tomorrow. But with DC, it could be any time.
They'll change it. It'll come out on a different network or through a different streaming service.
Which is interesting because they're saying, hey, it's coming out tomorrow, and guess where it's coming out on?
Where?
DC's streaming
A
service.
DC Universe.
DC
Which you can
Universe.
only get in North America.
But-
So,
DC Universe probably isn't the best streaming service to put anything on at
well,
the
they've
moment.
just cancelled DC Daily.
Why wouldn't you put it across to HBO Max? Because that's what you're trying to sell at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to check
No,
out this documentary.
No one knows what's going on at DC. So the other big news from DC too this week has been DC Fandomonium, right? Which is going to be like an online comic convention, but it's DC only. I know Zach Levi's already committed to doing a Shazam online Shazam panel. Zack Snyder's going to be releasing more little snippets from the Justice League HBO Max launch or reboot or whatever you want to call it. Speaking of that, did everyone watch the clip that you posted today?
Come
here
out
on
this morning,
Geekspeak?
the little teaser with Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot with the torch in the like a cave, whatever. On
With
cave painting
with the tribal painting of Darkseid.
So, yeah.
With Lex Luthor voicing it over the top.
See, I watched it without the sound on, and I had no. And he goes, "Yeah, I didn't." It took me a bit to get that was Lex Luthor's voice. I'm like,
there was
there was voices.
there was music. There
Wait,
was
so
sound.
what the fuck were you watching? I went, I had my sound off. I was in bed. I didn't want to wake the
The
wife
bit
up.
where the camera comes in and Darkseid's there and he ships and everything and it goes. Brrr. You didn't hear any of that. You were just sitting there going.
No, I went there. And went, oh, Gal Gadot. She's so pretty.
So back to DC's fandom.
Hang on one sec. Jake's just gone. Unsolved Mysteries is making a comeback on Netflix soon.
Very cool. Very
Awesome.
Cool.
Is Warwick Moss still doing it? Is he alive?
No. Warwick Moss was the Extraordinary. The
The
Australian.
Extraordinary. Yeah. Unsolved Mysteries was Robert Stack.
Robert
wasn't
Stack.
it? Is he alive?
I don't believe
He'd be a fair age, wouldn't he, old Robert Stack?
there was a remake of Unsolved Mysteries in the early 2000s, I think. Yeah, but he didn't do that either.
Did you see about the remake of Perry Mason?
What?
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is heading up the production, him and his wife.
Okay.
He was meant to act in it, but he's not There's a British guy acting in it, and it's set back in the very early 30s, which is when the original novels and all that were
Well, they definitely better have the
written or
theme
whatever.
song. They better have the
Perry
Blues
Mason.
Brothers Perry Mason song.
But yeah, so it's him so he's a private detective before he becomes a hotshot lawyer or whatever, you know.
Interesting.
So they said if you're a fan of the old classic Perry Mason show, you may not like this because in this he's got PTSD. It's the he return from the Great War. So it must be 20s then, late 20s because it's the Depression. Yeah, so it's a very different feel. But
Interesting.
Robert Downey Jr. was meant to act in it. He's had the rights for a few years to do it, but his schedule didn't line up, so they brought in another actor to play Perry Mason in it. So, yeah, there you go. If you're a Perry Mason fan, you like the novels, these are very much like the original novels, apparently. They're
Chris
based on.
just sent a message to us that you might be upset with.
Oh, Robert Stack died back in 2003. Perry Mason died this week with the new series. So sad. Aww. Damn, that's a long time ago too, 2003.
Let's go back to
Let's
DC.
bring it up a bit.
Let's go back to DC's fandom.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're going to be splurging a lot of information about TV shows that are.
So they couldn't do any of that. There was no San Diego this year.
Yeah.
COVID killed San Diego Comic Con. So I guess DC are using this because traditionally that's where your studios, publishers, they launch all their big announcements that what they're going to see for the next 12 months. Toy companies usually unveil all the toys. Speaking of toys, McFarlane's got the Dark Metal action figures coming out through McFarlane Toys. He's also got a Batman Beyond set of action figures coming out. So normally these would all be showcased at San Diego, but yeah, you're just going to have to find it, snippets, bits and pieces all over the web now.
One thing that they're saying is a surprise inclusion is Watchmen, with the showrunner of Watchmen season 1 saying, "Hey, I've got no interest in doing season 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone else can come on board and do season 2." But yeah, everyone went, "Whoa, Watchmen? Ooh, watch this space."
So, Fandemonium, how are you going to go about seeing it?
August 22. It'll
Yep.
be 24 hours only, and they are saying you can access it from anywhere in the world.
Well, I was going to say, otherwise, that's very unfair. If it was North America only, once again, it seems to be DC's thing lately of only looking after North America. But let's see just how it pans out if you can watch it. It's August 22nd.
August 22, and
We
they
will-
reckon it's free.
We will keep you, I doubt that there'll be some catch. We will keep you updated here on Geek Speak Live in the lead up to that.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
any cool news spinning out of that.
Going back to the death metal Batman.
Yes.
Did you see this week that they released a music film clip to tie into the comic? It's a motion, it's 3D animated, but then also a motion comic as well.
Okay.
They're going to release a music soundtrack to coincide with the comic.
Last time they did, when Capullo and Snyder did Dark Knight's Metal, the first miniseries, they actually released a Spotify playlist. It was all like heavy metal kind of stuff because Capullo is a massive metalhead. And it was music that inspired him while he was sitting there doing the drawing, the artwork and everything else. So DC got together and launched an official Spotify playlist back then.
Well, it looks like they're going to be releasing an album of music
Ooh.
to correspond with this. And the song that was released this week is a Marilyn Manson song.
You've always had a bit of a thing for Marilyn Manson, haven't you?
Hey, well, for his music, yeah.
What's that song? The Beautiful People.
Oh, of course, Beautiful People. Everyone loves that song.
Not everyone.
Yeah, come
Not
on
everyone. This guy right here? Nah.
now. Todd's like, who's got 2 thumbs and doesn't like Marilyn Manson songs?
This guy.
G'day to Sean watching at home.
No, look, I know I've been trashing DC the last couple of weeks, but at the end of the day, I'm still a DC boy at heart, so I wanted to show, and this week's back heavy. For us, the new release of books, Bat books that came out, and I want to kick it off with Batman 92. This is all leading up to Joker War. This was the first full real view of Punchline, which is the Joker's new sidekick, okay? So, don't worry, Harry Potter's in the way there, but yeah, Batman 92. Mate, this artwork was... I can never pronounce his name correctly. Gilliam, I think it is?
It's not Jorge.
No, it's not Jorge. Gilliam March. Now, this guy did Gotham City Sirens a couple of years back.
Oh, wow.
I like his
That
style.
is cool.
See if I can show you some of his artwork there. Oh, hang on, I'm going the wrong way. There you go. So, I quite like his art style.
Yeah, hell yeah.
There's another cool shot there, if I can... hopefully you can see that there. So yeah, I like his artwork, and there's little bits and pieces. Some of the shots in there remind me of Graham Nolan. His some of the way he used to draw certain back characters.
Yes.
But anyway, this is all leading up to Joker War, which is DC's big Batman
Yes.
story arc
Yes, it
coming
is.
up. And quite a good issue to read. That's new out in shops last week and this week. Also, spinning out of that, the Batman Secret Files. So a bunch of short stories. They've been doing this. This is the third Secret Files book.
Okay.
And usually it's a bunch of up-and-coming artists, team with some well-known writers. And see if I can show you the cover there. Batman
That's cool,
Secret
man.
Files. Harry's in the way tonight, but anyway, back there. There's some cool little short stories by all different types of creators in here. Including Riley Rossmo he's got a very cartoony style.
Yeah.
I'm not
Almost like the animated series. to an
I'm not the
extent.
biggest Riley Rossmo fan, but he's got a book in there. There's a fantastic artist, if I can find their bloody name, who's on here that I hadn't really heard much of. Sumit Kumar, right? Now, Sumit Kumar is doing a great story towards the end of there, right? Look at that artwork. That is phenomenal. This is a direct lead-in to Joker War. So if you want to follow along with Joker War, there's a bit of a revelation here,
Oh.
right?
Oh.
In this book.
Oh.
And I'm not going to ruin it for anyone who hasn't read it yet, but if you're getting into Joker War and you have not got a copy of this, do yourself a favour, pick it up. The final story at the end of this book, yeah, pretty interesting. Maybe a certain secret identity is not so secret. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Okay.
This book right here, Jins, the animated series. You and I,
Yes, I've
back
been hearing good things.
when we first got into Batman, back in 1994, this was the cartoon series that we used to watch, was the Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
Well, they've done a new comic series called Batman the Adventures Continues. Now, this is done in the same style as the original animated series comics. It is, where is it now? It's Paul Dini is helping to write it. Rick Burnett and, of course, Ty Templeton on the artwork. So I'll show you some of look at that classic animated style artwork
Damn.
there. Right, and this first issue's got, Lex Luthor makes an appearance in his big thing. Batman's fighting a giant robot that Lex Luthor's controlling. But the cool thing about this series, now it's only going to be 6 or 7 issues long, I think. They are introducing, so once, as per the name, the adventures continues. They are introducing Jason Todd,
Oh, shit.
right? As in adult resurrected from the dead Jason Todd.
Right.
And rumour is we will see an animated version of Azrael Batman
Damn.
in the series because they're releasing figures of
right.
those.
I'm in.
So there you go. That's out at the comic shops right now. See if I can put that the right
Bring
way
back
around.
the Grey Ghost.
Yeah,
That way
you
we
always
can
have
get some
things for the
action
Grey
figures.
Ghost. But just to finish off, as I said, it's bat heavy tonight. They've started reprinting. I'm going to show you first.
Oh, shit, really?
They're doing reprints of the original animated series. Now, these are $5 Australian, but it is a complete reprint of the original Batman the Animated Series comics. And like I said, Ty Templeton and Rick Burchett were working on it back then. So this is in the 90s.
Damn.
And it is that classic animated style. So these are getting reprinted.
Cool, man.
Go along to your local comic book store, snap these up, $5 for a cool reprint, and they're working their way through. These are coming out under the DC Classics imprint. Fantastic. Highly recommend it at your local comic book store, wherever that is. If you are in southeast Queensland, or no matter where you are in Australia, because we ship online everywhere, Kaboom Comics and Collectibles here in Toowoomba City, the Garden City, because that's where we film Geek Speak Live. There you go.
Just going back to the Marilyn Manson, Jono said that he's been listening to a lot of Marilyn Manson lately.
Have you?
Bit of a coincidence. Scott said, stop remaking old TV shows and just make brand new ones. These companies hide behind the veil of bring something series to a new generation.
But then completely change the show anyway. That's not bringing it to a new generation. It's vandalising the old ones. Bah, pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
We're like grumpy old men together. And you're younger than me, Scott, by quite a bit. So, I mean, I agree with you, but some people will say we're grumpy old men for thinking that way.
And then Jono's replied to that comment, the old shows are still there and are perfectly intact. Same as all the books and comics.
You love that they made crappy films, TV shows of. They haven't changed. Look, it's true. At the end of the day, nothing remains in a vacuum, does it?
No.
Everything always goes forward. And if it doesn't grow, you're not going to get new audiences. I think sometimes us, older fans
Yeah.
do get very set in our ways. And we go, no, I'm not going to watch this. And that's fine. we can draw a line in the sand and go, you know what, that new series doesn't appeal to me, so I'm not going to watch it or whatever else. Doesn't mean we're not allowed to bitch and moan about it. We are, but we have got to realise sometimes it is aimed at a new audience that will find love and enjoyment in a different take than what we did.
Yes.
You know, but I will still. I don't have kids. Some may argue that you're like a gigantic child, and, you know. But anyway. Even if you had kids, you'd be the same. We'd want them to watch the original Batman animated series because it's what brought us joy, and hopefully our kids would find joy in that as well. But you know, whereas remember the Batman that came out years later.
Yes.
I've tried to watch that and I can't get into it. I went, why did they dumb the animation down and the stories down? Guess what? There's a whole chunk of kids who that was their introduction to Batman, and they love it.
Well, the biggest thing that we've said recently is Thundercats. Remember the 80s Thundercats is amazing animation.
And then you get the new She-Ra thing and you go, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
But it's not aimed at us, I guess. So, you know what I mean?
Very
G'day,
much.
Sean, who's watching.
Scott's just sent us a message saying, very scary to see them nip and tucking our old stuff. I thought you were saying something about Todd and I.
I have had no surgery, sir. This is my original nose, thank you.
Him and his partner are hunting down physical copies now, just in case all the censoring gets worse. Well, you know, with some of the things that we've seen in the last couple of weeks.
Well, we saw the outcry last week over them taking off some of the Faulty Towers, or at least one Faulty Towers episode.
And then the scene from Back to the Future that they censored as well.
What?
I told you live on the air. They censored the Ooh La La magazine.
Oh,
from
they
Back
did
to
too.
the
Yes,
Future.
yeah, we talked about that the other week. Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things that they're censoring at the moment that we're like, Scott said, I will admit the 2011 reboot of Thundercats was fantastic to me. Really?
Oh, do you remember the
Really?
Do you remember the Turtles
Really,
cartoon?
really?
Yes, he obviously liked it. Do you remember the cartoon TMNT movie that Kevin Smith did a cameo in and everything else?
Yes.
I fucking loved that.
Yes.
I did not like the Michael Bay Turtles movies. I've never actually finished the first one or
same,
whatever. I just
same.
couldn't get into it. And I didn't like the new Nickelodeon version of Turtles that they've done now.
Oh, yeah.
The Rise of the TMNT or whatever it is. I don't like it, but it's not for me. But the animated movie from the early 2000s, that was fantastic.
Absolutely loved it.
You know what I watched this week, Jim? This week,
Uh-oh.
right? We need a little soundboard here for a little.
God.
You know, it would just be a soft piano playing. Bump, 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 bump. This week, I got in touch with my softer side, Jim.
Oh, God. Who
And
are you?
My lovely wife and I, we watched some Disney movies.
Ah, God.
Right? Now, you will remember me saying on this show that we watched Frozen a couple of years ago, the original Frozen.
Yes.
Frozen 1, I should say. And both of us thought it was pretty overrated.
Okay.
I was like, what the fuck is all the hype around this?
Yep.
So this week, we watched Frozen 2. Now, Frozen 2 was actually better than Frozen 1 in my eyes.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed it a lot more.
Okay.
And it led to an interesting discussion about where the sequels sometimes are better than the originals. And you and I had a brief discussion about it.
We did have a brief discussion about it.
Now, hang on, are you going to hold... So we want you to tune in here and comment below and tell us what movies do you think, personally, where you enjoyed the sequel more than the original. Are you full on going to say that you enjoyed Ghostbusters 2 more than the original Ghostbusters?
As I want to provise this.
Yeah.
As a kid, I enjoyed Ghostbusters 2 more than Ghostbusters 1 because I liked all the more ghosts and more things that happened in Ghostbusters 2.
Really?
But then as an adult, the comedy attracted me to Ghostbusters 1.
More, yeah.
More so than Ghostbusters.
What
2.
other kind of movies? Now, I was saying to you about Terminator.
Yes.
I've never enjoyed Terminator. I enjoyed Terminator 2 more than the original Terminator.
Absolutely. And I think everyone in our era would have...
Yeah, I'm not the big Terminator fan or anything, but I will admit I enjoyed Terminator 2 more than Terminator 1.
And I think everyone did, yeah.
What else was it? Now, you're actually a fan. You caused a bit of a
Yes.
kerfuffle the other night.
Very, very much a kerfuffle because I said...
I nearly come around to your places to bitch slap you. Right? I was halfway out the door and my wife's pulling me back. I'd come back in here. I was going, I'm going to slap him for saying it. You said you actually enjoy Batman Returns more than Batman 89.
Yes.
Get the fuck out, really?
I've always had a soft spot for Batman Returns.
Look, Batman Returns was freaking cool because you had Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
Yep.
But I don't know. I still have a real put them side by side. I think the '89 Batman with Jack Nicholson as the Joker is better. Only just, but it's still better than Batman Returns.
I liked looking at Michelle Pfeiffer more than Jack Nicholson.
We all did, didn't we?
Sean has said T2. Yes, absolutely agree.
T2 a lot better than the original.
Scott has says Aliens, and that's a discussion we had as well.
Well, you did with my wife, because I've never really watched the Aliens movie. I've seen bits and pieces over the years, and they've never done anything for me.
And Scott goes on to say, Alien is a better horror movie. Aliens is a great monster film. And it's interesting that, Alien, the first one, is like a psychological horror.
Yep.
And then Aliens is the war movie, and I enjoyed it because I felt that there was more action in that movie.
We also talked about Highlander.
Highlander.
Now,
yes.
you said you enjoyed Highlander 2 more than Highlander 1.
Yes, with the proviso.
Here we go, another proviso. He's just got to put that in there.
See, the thing is that we grew up in a time where the sequels were coming out as we were becoming old enough to rent them from the video shop. So I remember seeing Highlander 2 before seeing Highlander 1. And I thought Highlander 2 was so cool because they had the hoverboards that they were flying around on and attacking people. And then I went back and watched the first one and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Because in the second one, they remade it with a new director to say that the guys were from another planet and they came to Earth to fight in a battle.
I've never seen Highlander 2. I only remember... I like the original where a Scotsman played a Spaniard, a French guy played a Scotsman, and they were immortal, okay?
And a Scottish man played a Spaniard, yeah. And Highlander 1 had none of that shit in it. and subsequently in DVD releases, they've gone and they've taken those parts out of Highlander 2 and made a sort of director's-esque.
Oh, have they? Oh, so I might have to sit down and watch that. Sean said Captain America Winter Soldier. Yeah, hands down, better than the first Captain America movie. Now, I know you liked the original Captain America movie.
Yeah.
In the new Marvel universe, because you're very much a World War II kind of guy, right? But do you agree that Winter Soldier was a better film?
Is a far superior film, yes.
Oh, yeah, that was one of the first Russo brothers ones, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
So Sean, totally with you there. I think Winter Soldier was phenomenal. Jono said he preferred T1, Terminator 1, as it never created a time paradox, whereas Terminator 2 did.
How so?
Explain,
because
sir.
a lot of time travel movies create a paradox.
That's just
that's
just what's going to happen.
You
with
just
time
forget
travel.
that part of the plot.
Scott said I also like 22 Jump Street and Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan original better than the originals. 22 Jump Street? I haven't seen that. I don't remember you're talking about the remake movies.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a 20.
There's
22.
Yeah, that's the sequel to 21 Jump Street.
And it's better than 21
Jump Street.
I fucking like 21 Jump Street. Did you and I see that at the cinema?
No.
I don't know who the
I
fuck
don't think I've ever watched it.
Really?
Yeah.
Who the fuck did I take to the cinema to watch that with then?
Thin Jonah Hill is wrong. Is wrong.
He's got to be fat for you.
It's got to be. Scott's also said 28 weeks later, Blade 2. That's one movie we were saying as well.
Yeah, the other night, Blade 2 was pretty frigging good.
Del Toro directed it. But
Yeah.
then you also like Blade 3 Trinity.
I have a soft spot for Blade 3 Trinity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone with a bow and arrow that's attacking vampires.
Well, A, it had Jessica Biel in it. B, it had friggin' Ryan Reynolds.
with his shirt off. I mean, Ryan Reynolds.
I think they call that a Freudian slip, Jim.
Scott's gone on to say, there are heaps of sequels I like better now that we brought up the subject.
Jono said Aliens is one of the few franchises where the sequel is better than the original. Winter Soldier also. Anyone name any more? There should never have been sequels to Highlander. It should have been a standalone film.
Well, and then they made the television series as well of Highlander.
Oh, they did too, didn't they?
They did.
And Sean has said Superman 2.
Okay.
Really? Do you reckon Superman 2 is better than Superman 1, Sean? Because that was filmed back to back, wasn't it? The what are they called?
Oh, yes, it was.
The production company, Salkinds?
Which is interesting because Donna started filming the second one.
They were shooting it back to back.
And then Donna got kicked off.
Because the budget blew out. And like he said, because I've only just watched the doco on it.
Yep.
And Richard Donner was like, we were doing stuff that hadn't been done before. They were actually making sure they could make a man fly and make it look realistic and everything else. And yeah, the Salkinds, which were the producers of the movie and put all the money up, It was their grand scheme, right? Well, we'll save money by filming it back to back, but because of all the extra effects and it was blowing out, it was getting more and more and more. His relationship, Richard Donner, with the Saul Kynes, broke down to the point where they said, right, just focus on the one film, get it out. They did. It was a big hit. The damage was done with the relationship there, where they got another guy, and I can't think of his name, and he was brought on board to finish Superman 2. But a lot of people said that, they didn't like how, Clark shared some sexy moments with Lois and all that kind of thing. They just wanted more Superman action, but they said it was more a softer film, part 2.
G'day to Trudy watching at home. G'day to Jody watching at home.
The Dark Knight. Sean, you're talking about the Christian Bale films? Because we do not talk about that here. I don't want to hear Christian Bale as Batman ever again. I hated those movies.
G'day to Jeff watching at home. But then also, you got to think about Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. A lot of people think Empire Strikes Back was a
far superior.
Yeah. So,
what would you say, Indiana Jones wise?
It's got to be part 3,
which is
The Last Crusade.
Is that your favourite?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a soft spot for the one with the Kalima, with he's pulling the heart out.
Oh my God, really? Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom. I had a fucking soft spot with Temple of Doom.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
What's the first one?
Raiders
of the Lost Ark. You didn't like Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah, but I'm dying. I can't believe you think that film is better.
I did. Kalima! And the fucking eating the monkey brains and everything else. Man, I fucking loved that movie as a kid.
You didn't like Indiana Jones? The Penitent Man.
I love it when you do that. You know I love it when you do that.
But then when he meets the Templar Knight at the end of the movie...
Yeah, look, it's fucking cool. And I love Sean Connery as his dad. You know, we call the dog Indiana. Junior! I love it, but I think Temple of Doom was just a bit cooler.
Really?
And Temple of Doom had Dan Aykroyd in the cameo, didn't it?
Well, it did, yes.
That's why, see?
And
it had the short round. It had short round in it.
Which
I for love Dr. Jones!
Which would be way racist for,
you're not allowed
today's time.
Not allowed to do that now, though.
But it's interesting because in the timeline, it was a prequel to Raiders.
Laura said, I can't watch Temple of Doom, Sean Connery all the way.
Yes!
Really? No, I love the whole, the whole cult and all that, and when he's going through the friggin' tunnels there when they leave from the bedroom and all that down the spider webs and her freaking out. I just thought it was a fantastic film. Raiders was the best, is what John has. I guess I'm just fucking... I'm losing this battle tonight.
Sean said third films for me. Yes, definitely Die Hard with a Vengeance. Yes. Samuel L. Jackson.
What, over the original Die Hard?
Yes!
Oh, you guys are all fucking mad.
No way!
No, you cannot beat the original.
Die Hard with a Vengeance is
nope.
far
no,
better
Alan
film.
Rickman is a bad guy. No, the first one is the best. And yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. It's a classic.
Well, he says it in this one as well.
Yeah, but it's not the same. It feels forced in the third one. No, you're all wrong.
Scott said, having spoken to a family member, they prefer Empire Strikes Back over A New Hope, and X-Men 2 over the first.
Ooh.
That's an interesting...
Isn't it?
X-Men 2.
I'm surprised by the sheer amount of movies that you guys are throwing at us. This is fantastic. They are very geeky, but I'm even thinking slightly non-geeky. Is there any other films where the sequel is better than the original? My wife might say that Mamma Mia? She really enjoyed the second one and it was very teary.
There's a Mamma Mia 2?
There's a second Mamma Mia.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't
Here we go again.
Oh, God.
My. I have not watched it. Hand on heart, never seen Mamma Mia. She wanted me to watch it with her and I'm like, nah. And then she told me, a couple of weeks ago, she said she watched number 2 and it was really, really good. So.
You didn't like Spider-Man 2?
Which one?
With Tobey Maguire.
No, I did. I preferred Spider-Man 2 because Alfred Molina as Doc Ock,
Doc Ock
was better than Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin.
It was so cool with those mechanical arms from Doc Ock.
Yeah, no, I preferred it. I hated the third one.
Hated.
Topher Grace's Venom. That was just shit casting.
Yes.
And fucking emo Spidey dancing down the street.
It was disappointing. Sandman in it really didn't get used very well.
Laura said the pulling of the heart out bit is the reason why she can't watch Temple of Doom. That's the best part. Kalima!
Chris has said the unmade sequels to Princess Bride and the Goonies. That's because those movies don't exist.
Non-geeky, The French Connection 2, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly for me.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
John has said the opening for Temple was far superior to the shitty nuke scene from King. Dude, Kingdom of the... We don't even talk about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
It was a mass hallucination.
It's, one of them things where we all had a little bit of LSD and imagined there was a fourth Indiana Jones film.
Jono said X-Men 2 was way better.
That's another vote for X-Men 2.
Definitely not X-Men 3 though. X-Men 3, The Last Stand. That was a Brett Ratner film.
Oh, it was too, wasn't it? Yeah.
We don't talk about him either.
No.
He's got into a
He's
bit of trouble.
cancelled. But any other non-geeky ones? That's what I want to know. Any other non-geeky films out there where the sequel was better than the original? So
I wish they'd made a sequel to Condor Man. Condor Man.
Really?
Michael Crawford.
Really?
As a comic book artist that becomes a superhero.
You got
It's
that
the
on
greatest-
DVD?
I do have it on DVD.
I'll have to borrow that and watch
Dude,
it.
it's the greatest film from back in the day.
All I can think of him is Frank Spencer.
No.
Betty, the cat done a whoopsie in the garden.
I wonder if they're going to cancel him for some
What?
of the stuff that happened on that show.
Oh, is he still alive?
Michael Crawford is still alive, isn't he?
He was a fantastic singer, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Phantom of the Opera.
I was going to say, Jono, you're British. He did everything in Britain, didn't he? Didn't he used to do all the Christmas specials and...
I think Condor Man was actually one of the first new generation of Disney movies.
Yeah.
When I think it came out 1980, 81.
Scott has said Bad Boys 2 is better than the original Bad Boys.
Okay, yeah.
Jake has said Godfather 2 is probably slightly better flick over Godfather. Actually, yeah, Jake, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Godfather 2. Bride of Frankenstein is as good, slightly better than the original Frankenstein. Mad Max 2 over Mad Max.
Yes.
And Lethal Weapon 2 has the edge over Lethal Weapon.
Yes, I agree.
BB2 had nothing on BB1. What's
Bad Boys.
Oh, Bad Boys. Okay. I just got confused.
Bananas in
I
Pyjamas
thought it was
one.
Bananas in Pyjamas. Are you getting what I'm getting, BB?
Jake is 100% correct. Mad Max, the Road Warrior,
Yeah.
way better than the original Mad Max. I don't know why there is so much love for Mad Max 1, because it's the one that had Wilbur Wilde in it. At the
You're
beginning.
shitting me.
The very first scene in the movie is it Steve Bisley?
Yeah.
He's his partner, and he's looking through a telescope at two people having sex in the grass.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's a
Was
noise.
the other one Red Simons?
All of a sudden there's a noise or something, and you see them jump up and run off, and here's Wilbur Wilde in the raw running along.
Oh, that's a piece of cinema history that no one wants to rewatch. No one wants to see it.
yeah.
Wilbur Wilde and these dangly bits.
Mad Max 2 is the one that we all remember, with
Ah.
the post-apocalyptic.
Neil has just said Romancing the Stone and Jewel of the Nile.
Oh.
Back when Michael Douglas was an action star. We only watched Romancing the Stone not long ago. Fantastic movie, that.
Jono said, I saw Condor Man in the cinema. Wow.
Holy shit, really?
Wow.
Wow. Ginger's is actually a little bit jealous right now.
Dude, we weren't even born then.
Were we? What year did it come out?
I think it came out 1980, didn't it, Jono? Was it 1980 or 1981?
If it was 81, that's a good vintage, because that's our vintage, but...
And a friend of the show that we know,
Yeah.
her dad was a big fan of Condor Man and named her after the main character, Natalia.
Really?
In the movie.
Really?
Yep.
There you go. How cool is that?
And yeah, she hates being called that.
Oh.
And she hates that movie because of that.
Oh. I had one of our lovely customers here this week. They brought their 3-month-old bub in to see me, a little daughter, and they named her Raven because they're a big Teen Titans fan.
Wow.
And Raven was one of their favourite characters, so they called their daughter Raven. I said, that's pretty freaking cool.
Jono said Evil Dead 2 was better than 1, but with
It
the
was a
proviso,
remake
It
of
was
the
a remake, yeah.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. So there are some fantastic films there that we've named.
Oh, what about Desperado?
What's it a sequel of?
It's a sequel of El Mariachi.
Oh!
El Mariachi is the one that he did for $7,000, thinking
Yeah.
that it'd just be released on VHS,
Yeah.
and then they gave him enough money to release it and then make Desperado.
Ah.
Well, Once Upon a Time in Mexico is the third,
Yeah.
with Johnny Depp in it. It's pretty cool
That's a
too.
good film too, yeah.
But I remember that we were a big fan of Desperado in high school.
Yeah.
So much so that we took ideas from it to do drama pieces in high school.
Was that Briefcase Full of Blues?
Briefcase Full
Which
of
was
Blues.
also named after a Blues Brothers album. We used to rip a lot of shit when we were in high school.
Hey,
that was our formative years.
Well, that's what Tarantino does. He takes things from all different places, and it's called a homage. If you just take one thing and steal it,
It's
that's
called a
copyright.
homage. is what that's called.
as opposed to copying.
Now, just to make you feel really, really old, I saw the first Star Wars in the cinema too. Jono, you old bastard.
Oh. Jake's just said yes, Desperado.
Oh, yeah, Desperado. That's
Scott
'cause he's
said
got
I
the-
love El Mariachi.
There's the guns in the guitar case.
Yep.
It was great. Who was the chick in that?
Selma Hayek.
Ah.
Which is interesting. Did you see the poster that was released this week?
No?
It's got Selma Hayek in it. It's the sequel to the what is it? The something Bodyguard?
The Hitman's
Bodyguard?
So it's the Hitman's Bodyguard's wife.
The
or something.
Hitman's wife's bodyguard or something.
Oh, yeah. But Samuel L. Jackson is back, and so is Ryan Reynolds. You had me.
And
I'm
Selma
there.
Hayek, yeah, that'll be a great
I've
movie.
always had a thing for Selma Hayek.
Haven't we all?
And who was the other chick that was in Ghost Rider? Eva Mendes.
Yes.
Whatever happened to Eva Mendes? She just disappeared from our screens. What's
Well,
she do now?
Her and her husband do it one movie on, one movie off to look after their children.
Who's her husband?
Old mate from, is it Ryan Philippe?
Is she married to Ryan Philippe?
Yeah,
Really?
the bloke from Driver.
From what?
Driver.
What about, are you sure it's... Are you right?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan... I was going to say, that's not fucking Ryan Philippe.
Sorry, Ryan Philippe was
She's
in...
married to Ryan Gosling? Are you for real?
Yes.
Shit, he's done more films than her lately.
Well, I'm just...
I don't think that's equal. I think there's a little bit of inequality going on in that marriage. Seriously, I loved Eva Mendes. I thought she was good, especially original Nick Cage Ghost Rider.
Ryan Gosling.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking Ryan Philippe.
Well, I'm sorry. I was thinking.
I was trying to
thinking about the movie with buddy Sarah Michelle Gellar in
that
it.
come to my mind as well.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Wild Things.
No, was not.
I don't know.
Shit, there was 3 in the box set. I've got the box set of them at home. The second 2 films were shit. Selma Blair,
Selma Blair was in it. Yes, it was.
Sarah Michelle Gellar,
Yep.
Josh Jackson, because he plays...
They were all in it. All in it. Yeah.
Fuck, what's it called? Can anyone tell us in the...
Can someone quickly Google this?
Someone Google that shit and
IMDb.
tell me.
Open it up.
I own the box set. Because I said...
Cruel Intentions.
Cruel Intentions.
Cruel Intentions.
There was 3 Cruel Intentions movie. Did you know that?
Chris has just said Cruel Intentions.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
We got there, but you brought it home for us. I love Cruel Intentions. Fuck, I love that movie. That is a great movie.
I don't think I've ever watched it.
Oh, get the fuck out!
I've definitely never watched 2 or 3.
Where she kisses her and Sarah
In the
Michelle
water.
Gellar and what's her name?
Selma Blair.
Selma Blair kiss.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like I've seen that. Haven't we all seen that? But there was no need to watch the rest of the movie.
it's a fantastic film. Fantastic film.
But they were brother and sister in it, right?
Half brother, half sister.
Okay.
Yeah. No. What do you call it? Step. Not half. They end up. She says you can if you lose the bet or you win the bet or whatever you can.
You can do whatever you want.
Do naughty backdoor
That's what
stuff.
I said.
So that's
I'm going to
weird.
go watch Tango and Cash. At least I know what's what.
Do you know what a great old movie? I'm just going to throw this out there just because I fucking love it. Did you ever watch Over the Top? With Sly
Yes.
Stallone, where he's an
Yes.
arm wrestling truck
Dude,
driver. I fucking love
They're
that.
bringing out a Blu-ray of it.
Oh, I
fucking
really?
kid you not.
Where
Yes.
he's got to pick up his estranged son who is in a private school, and he takes him from one city to the other, and Sly Stallone is wrestling. Like, I'm wrestling to win money to buy a new truck. And of course, me being a trucker's son, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, this is like the best movie ever, right? Because Sly Stallone's a wrestling guy. But I'm like, look at the truck he gets at the end. And this kid's like, oh, I hate being on the road with you. You're not really my father. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, kid. Like your dad.
Look at his fucking truck.
Look at his truck. And he arm wrestles guys. It's fucking cool because he's driving along and he's got, remember the old stretchy things?
Yeah,
exercise?
on the back of it where
Yeah. We all had them in the 80s and early 90s. We all thought we were going to get super strong doing that. Well, he's got it attached to, so he's driving along and he's like curling with the, that's my Sly Stallone look.
You know that they paid him $12 million to do that movie, right?
Fuck. Seriously, the budget, that must have been the whole budget.
So this is Cannon Films, right? Cannon Films was the little brother to all the movie makers in the 80s. They gave him $12 million to make this movie because they wanted to be in the big boy league, right?
Yeah.
That budget blew out so much that's the reason why Masters of the Universe has that weird ending.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
you're blaming Over the
I'm
Top.
blaming Over the Top for the reason that that Skeletor and He-Man clash swords, all of a sudden the room goes black and all the lights turn off,
Yeah.
and they have the fight sequence because the producers come from over the top, come to He-Man and went, "Stop! Whoa, we've run out of money. That's it. That's it."
Are you for fucking
There
real?
was this huge battle scene that was supposed to happen, but Over the Top fucked it for all of it.
Well, I still think Over the Top's a better film. But anyway, Jake has said Lincoln Hawk for the win, and John has said Cruel Intentions was based on Dangerous Liaisons. Is it actually based on Dangerous? Is it? That's cool. I didn't know that. That's fantastic. Yeah, there you go.
Shit, I was just thinking about another series that I went, part 2's better than part 1, but I can't remember now.
It's gone now? Sorry, Ginge. What other news you got for us? Anything?
Jeff Bridges and his daughter have
Yes.
written a new comic.
Ooh.
It's called Daddy Daughter Day.
Yep.
Dark Horse Comics are going to be releasing it. And to coincide with the release on October 6th, they're giving away 3 of the dude sweaters. Recreations that he wore.
How cool is that?
So how amazing would it be to win that piece of merchandise?
Yeah, I must admit that is pretty freaking cool. I like that idea.
Just quickly, Mandalorian 2, they said that the release date is going to be still October,
Yep.
and there's only going to be 5 episodes.
Okay. Now, I was talking before about, I said we were talking about Frozen 2, that's what kicked off the whole sequel thing.
Yep.
But I also watched another Disney film this week. Last night we watched Cinderella. The live action one with old mate that was in Game of Thrones, played one of the Stark brothers. He plays the prince.
Okay.
And Matt Smith's wife, I believe, is Cinderella in it.
Okay.
And Kate Blanchett plays the evil stepmom
Oh, really?
in it. Yeah.
Is that any good?
I fucking actually enjoyed the movie. I thought it was quite good.
You thought Cinderella was good?
Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter plays the fairy godmother. And in typical Helena Bonham Carter style, she's, a bit over the top and a bit cray-cray, but I
You
liked
know
it.
what? Just quietly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've always had a thing for Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
So did Tim Burton.
He had good taste in women.
Yeah, they're not together anymore. Are they split?
They did. But was it you telling me that when they were married, that they had a house side by side? So they didn't actually sleep in the same bedroom? Or
Yeah,
same...
they had. It was essentially a house. Apparently, I think it was joined. They ended up joining it. It was 2 separate houses. And yeah, because he had very eclectic taste. So did she, but they didn't quite mesh.
It had something to do with him snoring? Or
Oh,
was
probably. I'm sure my wife wishes we had 2 houses because the way I snore some nights. And that's saying something because I hear you and you're 3 blocks away. I'm like, oh, Ginger's at it again.
He's gone to bed early.
Yeah. Here you go. Bizarre fact. Jake has sent us a bizarre fact. You ready? Van Damme's classic piece of shirt Cyborg used sets. Hang on, I've stuffed that up. You tell.
All right, so they were going to make Masters of the Universe 2.
Yes.
Because they ran out of money, that didn't happen, and Van Damme ended up in a movie called Cyborg.
Yep.
Which reused sets and costumes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It's a cool movie, Cyborg. It's a cool movie. And there is a sequel to that, Cyborg 2, and Tomb Raider plays the main character in it as well.
Tomb Raider. Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie plays the.
See, now there's
the
a woman
cyborg.
back in the day. Actually, I still
You know
would.
what?
We watched Maleficent the other day, and I there's something about Angelina Jolie.
I was just thinking, Tomb Raider 2 was pretty cool compared to Tomb Raider 1.
I don't think I've ever seen Tomb Raider.
Haven't you?
2, no.
Oh.
No.
There's so many sequels we need to check out.
Well, there probably friggin' is, and we just don't have all the time to do it.
Jake just said we watched Flight of the Navigator recently. Flight of the Navigator.
No, Jono said that.
It's such a... Oh.
I don't think I've ever watched Flight of the Navigator.
Haven't you?
No.
It's... Yeah, I've only ever seen it maybe once or twice as a kid.
Okay.
And didn't the child actor in there, didn't he get arrested recently?
You're asking me. I don't know because I didn't watch it.
I'm telling you that he recently got done for DUI.
Did he?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you see your heroes fall. It's really bad. But anyway, what else you got for me? Any other news? Before we throw it to the folks for some last questions?
Just quickly, another DC story.
Yes.
They have been releasing 100-page giant comics in Walmart.
In Walmart, yes.
Have you seen that they're going, how about we just chuck 4 comics into the same packaging and sell that?
Which Marvel have been doing for years in Walmart, right? A lot of people didn't realise that, but Marvel have had comic packs in Walmart in the US where it's like 4 or 5 comics put together and like done in a pack, put up on these shelves, and they get sold there. And apparently they sell quite well. It's actually just come out this week. There are some big name creators doing variant covers for those Walmart books.
Okay.
So the average punter thinks they're just overstock. They're not. They're actually printed to go in those packs to be sold through Walmart. So that if you're in America, grab some of those packs because there are chances that some of the covers are original Walmart exclusive covers. You just wouldn't know it off the bat until you start checking online and go, this is not the cover for New Avengers 52. That's a complete different cover. It's a Walmart exclusive. So
And what they're saying is it's a bit annoying to comic retailers in America because they're selling them at $9, which is pretty much half the price you would pay if you come buy them in a comic shop.
probably. But look, it's the way it is. DC's going to cater to the big boys, big end of the market, which is Walmart's got nearly 5,000 stores across the US, which is more than twice as many direct market comic book stores. So it's a huge market, really is. And you know, I don't actually have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I was talking to a bunch of customers today, and I said, this subject came up. And they were like, oh, are you like the other retailers who are dead set against that kind of thing? I was like, fuck no. Because you and I didn't go into a comic shop to get into comics.
Well, no.
Where did we
that's
get
right.
comics from?
Yes.
The local news agency, right? Now, you can't do that in Australia anymore. They sell pretty much the Phantom, and that's about it. But when we were growing up, you used to have a ton of comics in the local news agency. And then you started reading, you got into the characters, and then someone would tell you, oh, there's a comic shop in town or whatever else. And that's how you transitioned across to the comic shop, because you realise, oh, the comic shop can get them in. I can pre-order them. Back then, they were 2 months ahead of the news agency. The news agency were 2 months behind with releases. So that's what got you to go across and start buying from a comic shop. It was entry level for new readers, right? Across the world, news agencies in Australia, drugstores in America, things like that all faded out in the mid-90s kind of to now. So how do you get the next generation into comics? This thing of putting comics back into big box department stores like Walmart, I think it's a fucking great idea. I'm one of the few retailers that I know who's like, that's great, love it, 2 thumbs up. Now, it doesn't affect us here in Australia because we don't have Walmart. But if Big W started selling just prepackaged comics of, and it's issues that have been out for a few months, and they started selling them in I don't know, Big W or Kmart or whatever else, guess what? I wouldn't have an issue with it because it would possibly get new people reading comics.
Yep.
At the end of the day, for a market to grow and be healthy and sustainable, you need new faces, you need new readers and stuff like that. Those people will then grow up one day to be the new content creators. So that's how the cycle continues, and that's how things keep going. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Chris said, I remember back in the 80s an Australian company called Federal Comics.
Yes.
Used to do reprints of Marvels and DC books and
They
sell
did.
them in packs of 4 or 5.
Murray Comics, Planet Comics were 2 other mobs who reprinted, had licenses to do reprints over here. A lot of the time, those ones were black and white, and the stories would be a bit mixed up. You might get a JLA story and a Batman story in the one issue and stuff like that.
Chris said he remembers them in Kmart.
Yeah. Well, even in the 90s here, they used to package some books up and sell them in packs in certain department stores and stuff. You and I, the old days, going into
Into the cheap shop.
the cheap shop and seeing all the Valiant
Yep.
overstock that used to be sold through some of the, well, in America you call them dime stores. Over here they were like your Pick and Save and
Yes.
Silly Sollies and stuff like that.
Overflow.
Overflow was another one. You used to buy them through there, and that's how we got into some of the Valiant, like the Turok,
Time Walker.
Time Walker,
Bloodshot.
Bloodshot was a big one. Dr. Solar Man of the Atom. That's how we got into that kind of stuff.
The Ray.
Yeah.
Oh, all I can picture now is
No, it's called Ray, not the Ray.
all I can picture is the chromium covers, especially
I've
the
still got
Bloodshot
to get in
one.
one. I really do. I really should get
I
you one.
got to dig it out. The Bloodshot one that I've got.
Just before we do throw to some last questions, I do want to make mention, and I've been copping questions this week. What's going on with the DC Comics? We're still trying to work out how we're going to get them across to Australia. Diamond UK, DC have struck a deal for the UK and Europe, where Diamond UK, because it is technically a separate entity to Diamond America.
Yep.
They are going to get an extension through to the end of December to still stock DC Comics over there. So it's buying time for the European and UK retailers. Like they get a better transition period than the rest of us who have just had this kind of thrust upon us. One really great comic shop here in Australia announced today that they are dropping DC singles. They've crunched the number. Greenlight Comics in Adelaide made the announcement today to all their customers saying, look, We've crunched the numbers. We just find that it's going to be too hard, too much extra work, too much extra cost to get the DC single issues across. We're dropping them. We will stock the DC graphic novels through our book distributors. But sorry, we're out for now. There's 2 other comic shops in Adelaide that may still get the DC singles in, so they may pick up their customers for the single issue side of things. It's a risky move for a comic shop to make, and I tell you what, hand on heart, I feel for the poor buggers down there. It's a big, tough decision to make, but they've obviously made it, and they've said, yeah, we're not going to do it. And there are rumblings that other Australian comic stores may do the same. They may actually go, we're out of DC single issues. It's too much hassle to get them into the country. You'll buy them as graphic novels or go to another comic shop. So waiting and seeing what's going to happen there. But yeah, very interesting times at the moment in the comic book retail market.
You'll like this. Wonder Woman's been delayed yet again.
Wonder Woman 84?
84?
Fuck, what for this time? It was meant to be out last year.
October 2 is when they said it's going to be coming out.
I still say that there's a big problem with this film.
Yes.
I reckon DC's got a turd of a release on their hands. I reckon it's going to bomb.
I went back and researched it. They started filming Wonder Woman 84 in June 2008. 2018.
I was going to say that, not 2008. That's.
They finished filming December 2018.
Because it was meant to come out last year,
and
2019.
And then in July 2019, they did some additional filming. Probably to fill some gaps that they...
Yeah, as I said, early test audiences reckon that early screenings, they did not rate well. So, big issues there. Anything else?
I've got one final piece.
Oh, good Lord, he's full of news tonight. Yes?
One final piece. Have you seen that they're going to be releasing a severed Deadpool head?
What?
It's a head in a box. It's Deadpool.
It's my head in a box.
He has 600 phrases that he says.
Holy shit!
And the face actually animates and talks with the phrases.
Is it Ryan Reynolds' voice doing it?
I believe so.
I'm going to have to have it. I need to own this.
And I can't wait for this thing to come out because it is honestly, it's just a severed head.
Yeah,
that you can put on a shelf.
Is it motion activated? Or?
It's motion activated. You can control it via an
Oh,
app.
how cool would that be? I'll have that here in the instead of a door chime or anything. I'll have Deadpool's severed head as our door chime at Kaboom Comics. I reckon that would be awesome.
Oh man!
I'm guessing it's probably not very PC. So if 600 sayings,
600 phrases. Yep.
Phrases. I'd say some of those aren't going to be PG.
I'm hoping that you can type stuff in or say stuff into the app.
How cool would that be? When's this meant to be hitting the market?
Later on this year.
So in time for Christmas? You might have to put that on your list to Santa, kids.
Yes. And that is just about me for the information.
Is that it? So you can do the tap, tap, tap with your paper and do the old...
Oh, shit. Sorry, cameraman. Actually, finally, just before we go, do you remember a 90s movie called 13 Ghosts?
Yes. Yes.
They are re-releasing it on Blu-ray with all these added interviews with people like Matthew Lillard, Shannon Elizabeth, and your mate Tony Shalhoub. From Monk.
Tony Shalhoub. Yeah. Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, the guy that does
Scooby. Shaggy. Yeah. I liked him as an actor.
Yeah.
Did you say Shannon Elizabeth?
Shannon Elizabeth was in the movie as well.
As in American Pie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dance for me, Jim.
And for those who don't remember, it's a horror film, but it was early 3D.
Yeah.
So what they did is, in the movie, they put on glasses to show you that you should put on your 3D glasses to get the 3D aspects of the film.
What do they think we are? All just monkeys who will mimic whatever someone's doing in front of us?
It was a really cool movie.
It probably worked.
And all the characters were big old-fashioned prosthetic characters.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
13 Ghosts.
Thanks. Is that your other? You got anything there? Can I scrunch that one up?
Scrunch that up.
Anyway, any final questions? Got to get them in quick to us. Start typing them up now. Stretch.
All I'm trying to think of is sequels to movies that we really love that maybe could be better than the originals.
I really don't know.
Look, I definitely Back to the Future 2 is not the better film the
No,
series.
the original Back to the Future has always been
But
my favourite.
going back and watching Back to the Future 3, I would say it's almost on par with Back to the Future 1.
Really?
I really enjoyed the
What about the
old Wild
Avengers
West.
films? I reckon the two early first two was Joss Whedon, wasn't it?
Of
Avengers, the modern Avengers movies.
yeah,
I
I
really
don't know.
didn't-
Joss Whedon was. I think he's very overrated.
yeah,
To be honest.
yeah, I'm definitely with you on that one. I just thought I don't know. I go back and I watch those and I find them really weak now.
Definitely the Russo brothers.
Thank you for getting it correct.
Jake has said Matthew Lillard rocks a Green Lantern shirt in that flick.
Oh, really?
And there's a bunch of Spawn figure cameos as well. I'm going to have to go back and watch
This
it.
is what I love about you, Jake. You are the pop culture king, man. You know these cool things. You should come on and guest one night on this show, I reckon. That is cool. I'm glad you find all that cool stuff.
I'm trying to think. What else could be a better sequel than the original?
Any of our movies we've ever done? We've never done sequels to our little movies.
I suppose.
Maybe we need to do a Priest and the Concierge too.
I was wondering if all our films are sort of like Kevin Smith films where they're all kind of interconnected in the same universe.
I fucking hope
But
not.
there's some fucking weird shit that we've done.
We
that
have.
You'd be like, what?
You and I have had so many ideas lately about little short films we should do.
Well, what we were saying, going back to Superman Part 2, has anyone seen the Richard Donner edit version of Superman 2? That
No.
he was allowed to come back, re-edit it, take scenes out, add stuff that
Did
he'd
it work
shot.
better?
They reckon that it's a.
Well,
it's
you
a
haven't
better
seen
film.
it.
I have it on DVD, but I've never watched it.
Is this like Goonies?
What?
Still haven't seen Goonies. What is wrong with you?
Oh, Princess Bride.
Oh,
Princess Bride sounds like Cinderella. Why would I want to watch that?
mate, Cinderella was really good. It was really good. We watched Into the Woods not long ago either. That was pretty good. Although I didn't enjoy it as much the second time round as when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it wasn't quite as good the second time round. Into the Woods.
Anyone got some comments about their favourite sequel movie?
Any more? No, I think that's it. I think everyone's pretty much done for the night, sir.
That they've had enough looking at our ugly mugs.
Well, speak for yourself. I'm man pretty. My wife told me so.
And she's not allowed to lie.
So did my doctor, although it was very weird.
That they said it at the same time.
Hey, no, my doctor said it as he was giving me a prostate exam, but I swear I felt both his hands on my shoulders. You right?
Ah,
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed this show. Now, we'll be back next week, and we're going to come up with a topic. We'll throw something out there similar to
I
the whole...
enjoyed that. Thanks very much for giving your response about sequels versus originals.
You folks have been fantastic, because there's been some films you've thrown up that we hadn't really thought about when we
Yes.
first talked about it this week. So we'll take some suggestions for other talk topics for next week, and because it's been really good, we've enjoyed that. We'll be back with more news and other cool stuff. I still want to watch some more movies this week if I get a chance to talk to you about geeky films.
If you enjoyed tonight's episode, give us a big thumbs up in the
Put a thumbs up.
comments
If
below.
you didn't like it, don't bother doing a thumbs down, or I'll track you down and kick you in the
Just
crotch.
give us a heart emoji. Oh,
Yeah, give
you
us some
guys
more. I
could
like
have,
those little...
you could have done better, but hey.
I thought they were a little serial killer emoji. Originally. I thought it was a serial killer, like little
stabbing
smiley
someone in
face
the back.
stabbing someone or something.
Oh, shit.
And then someone said, "No, that's a love. That's a cuddle emoji." Like,
Oh god.
and I went, "Oh, I didn't see it that way at first." Anyway, someone's just done it. Thank you. Someone's given it. Love you.
Thank you for the serial killer.
Love yous all. Look, I've been your host, Todd Bailey. This has been my incredibly good-looking and single ladies co-host, Ginge.
We forgot. Scott just commented. Check the list. Rocky 2 plus Clerks 2. Oh, Clerks 2.
Fuck.
We
should've just-
forgot. We should. Oh,
Anyway, it's too late now.
too late.
Ginge.
Wait, Cups on Pots and Pans. Thanks very much for joining us.
We will see you next Friday. Be back here, same geeky time, same geeky channel. Catch you then.
Bye.